going on, my fellow YouTubers? I'm ZephyrSonic, and it is about time that I came back to you guys with another episode of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII. So it has been a few months since I did the first episode, and now it is time to continue now that I have my PS3 situation sorted out. I have a new one now, so everything is all good. So, in the first episode, we started off into this game, and now we're getting ready to continue. As in the last episode, we met a mysterious girl called Lumina, who looks exactly like Sarah. What is going on with that? Well, we're going to be finding out later on in the game, but for now, we are getting ready to head into the warp point and begin the world's doomsday clock. 13 days until the end of the world. You don't start off with 13 days. You do start off on the first day, but you don't start off with 13 days yet because you have to save as many souls as you can, and that will in turn allow you to, with enough souls getting saved, you will unlock the next day and the next day. But of course, if you don't, you get a game over and you have to start over with everything that you've gotten up to that point. So, here we go, getting ready to head down into the world to start the clock. Here we go.
By using the warp device, I can teleport you back down to the surface.
I'm worried about Snow. I should go to his palace.
You could, but I suggest you visit another city instead.
You want me to abandon Snow?
Down on the surface, time is stopped for everyone. The palace will still be on high alert. It will be next to impossible to get anywhere close to Snow.
You're saying I should let things cool down first.
Alright, so make sure you are prepared and that you are ready. Technically, you don't have much to prepare for because, well, being this far, well, only being like at this point in the game, you don't, unless you want to change your schemata, since you have very little, then it's like you don't have much to worry about. But when you're ready to go, head down in, but once you select yes, you cannot return here until 6 o'clock the next day, so keep that in mind. Although, I do like the fact of being up here because it gives me a safe haven, not having to worry about the doomsday clock going on. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, come on, we gotta do this, gotta do that. Alright, let's go. So return to Nova Cresselia, yes.
I'm going to send you to Luxerion. It's the capital of the world. Or, what's left of it anyway. I'll place you inside an inbound train. When the train stops at the station, you can get off with the other passengers. Something has happened in front of the station.
All right, do it.
You're surprisingly calm for someone who's about to venture into unknown territory. But you were always brave.
Brave? I don't feel brave. I don't feel anything. No worry, no confusion, no fear.
That's good. But you still need to stay safe.
And also, since there are a lot of side quests and stuff, some of these episodes might be a little short. Because I do want to try to take my time with this.
The Usnam train is now arriving. Luxerion North Station.
Luxerion, a bustling metropolis, the divine city of light and the holy sea of salvation. It's the last bastion of peace and order in a dying world. Most of the people who live here worship the almighty Benevelza. The city is governed in his name by a powerful religious sect known as the Order of Salvation. God's followers believe in ultimate redemption, and their faith helps keep the fires of hope burning. But even in this pious city, a darkness lurks untouched by divine light. A heresy that rejects the teachings of Supreme Benevelza.
It's another girl.
How awful.
I bet it's the heretics doing.
The Divine City doesn't look so holy now.
This was no accident. The girl was left here intentionally. Light! Help her!
There's no need. Just a dummy. Hope, did you see who dropped it? They must still be close.
My sensors didn't pick up anything at all. I'm running a search of the city's video database, but I'm coming up blank so far.
Doesn't matter. I'll just find out myself. Luxerion. The Divine City of Light. Is that what they call it? Trouble is, the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows.
Okay, so to start off, down here in the world, we are now taking on a quest. This is called Witherfaith. The body of a young woman has been found in the plaza in front of Luxerion's North Station. It is just the latest in a string of murders in which the victim was a woman with the same color hair as Lightning. Could someone be going after the Savior herself? Lightning needs to question witnesses in the area and report whatever she learns to the Inquisitor in charge of the investigation. So, we are going to accept the quest. Of course, we have to. This game is mostly about side quests.
It looks like someone's targeting the Savior. Let's see if we can find out anything from the crime scene.
We need to solve this case quickly. Luxerion is the city of divine light, yet it has seen the murder of 3 girls in 3 days. The people seem to be growing fearful. If you find out anything at all, I'd be anxious to hear it. There are similarities among the victims. They have all been young women, and all of them had rose-colored hair. Yes, just the same shade as yours. You may also become a target of the killers. I urge you to be careful.
The horror continues. Another victim has been discovered. I knew the latest victim. She was a leading member of the Order clergy. She'd been a rising star, destined to become the next High Priestess. But then she retired suddenly for reasons of health, or so it was said. And then this.
The Savior's mission is to rescue the souls of people trapped in prisons of pain and suffering. By forming a bond with them, you can lead their souls to salvation.
Another thing about the world's clock is you have to be careful, because if you waste too much time, you can waste precious time. In this game, each second is valuable. Although it doesn't go by per second. It goes by game second. So here's a flyer written in the Etro alphabet. The evil Savior will die at the hands of the Shadow Hunter. I wonder who they could be talking about. So we have obtained valuable information, and for once, the clock stops.
The Inquisitor will definitely be very interested in this information. Why not talk to a few more people?
It reads... Do you have information for me? Interesting. Very interesting. I think this is worth further investigation. Thank you for sharing what you know. Let me know if you learn more.
You should gather information and relay it to the Inquisitors. Once they have a good lead, they might be willing to lift the roadblocks.
We believe the culprits are hiding out in this area. That's why we've decided to lock it down.
Yeah, and also some of the areas won't unlock until certain times. And also make it to where you forget to do some side quests too.
The heretics talk about seeking solace in the...
This area is locked down. No one's allowed past without permission.
The Order needs as much information as possible. Search the premises for witnesses or suspicious persons.
Good heavens. This has become quite the predicament. Those messages say that the Shadow Hunter will kill the Savior. Sounds pretty, I don't know, prophetic, right? If you believe what you hear around town, it seems that the children of Etro have an Oracle Drive. That's a rare thing. They say Oracle Drives are mysterious devices that can let you see the very future. The Heretic's prophecy. I can't even imagine what it must show. But apparently it's enough to drive them to murder.
The Inquisitor will definitely be very interested in this information. Why not talk to a few more people?
You can't even hardly...
An Oracle Drive that lets you see the future. It sounds good on paper.
You can't even hardly listen to Hope without having to worry about the clock. Alright, so it seems like we have a...
It can't be. Damn it, it's not like him to be late. But what if... No, couldn't be that.
Something wrong? Not about those murders, is it?
God, no. Well, at least I hope not. You see, it's the end of my shift, and I'm waiting for my replacement, but he hasn't shown. He's been late before, but never as bad as this.
You're starting to worry, right?
He likes to make out he's a tough guy, but he isn't at all, frankly. His name's Holmes. If you run into him, do me a favor, will you? Tell him Thornton's worried and needs to go home.
Okay, so the Where Are You Holmes side quest, which we need to complete in order to advance the current mission we're on.
Alright. If I see anyone in uniform wandering around where they're not supposed to be, I'll talk to them.
So yeah, I just talk about the, as we talk about the side quests, and then gaining a Radia to grant the world more time. The one thing I do hate about this is that it's a lot more about side quests than there are battles. There are way less battles compared to the previous two Final Fantasy games in the series, in the 13 series. Alright, so find Thornton's colleague Holmes. He's currently hiding near the inn in the station plaza. Look for a man wearing a station attendant uniform. Okay, so first of all, let's go.
The Order operates the regional transportation system. It's the city's life.
I always said those people would cause trouble, and I was right. Every night I can see them, those weirdos in their white cloaks sneaking around the streets. Whenever I see white, I think, ugh, heretic. If there's one thing I know, that wicked Shadow Hunter, he's the ringleader of the heretics. Those fanatics are growing bold. Nowadays, there's always a gang of them in the plaza in front of the station. It's as if they are meeting to go someplace else. Speaking of which, it's usually around this time they start to show up.
Okay, so we obtained more valuable information.
That's vital information. Good work, Light.
No one, absolutely no one doubts that the people behind the killings are those heretics. The Order is conducting its inquisitions based on that assumption. The Etro fanatics who worship the goddess of death are all over the place. Just look for the sinister groups huddled together, dressed head to toe in white. It may mean nothing, but some people have witnessed the Etro heretics using the public phone near the graveyard. Furtive conversations in the streets. Prowling the city at night. It makes you wonder what they're up to.
Alright, even more valuable information.
That was a valuable witness statement. I'm pretty sure the Inquisitor can use the information.
Office has directed all trains to suspend operations. Thank you for your understanding.
The area's locked. What do I do now?
You just wait until you can go?
Who else could it be? It has to be them, right? So there's this place called the Forsaken Graveyard outside the city. You know it? What I've heard is that a bunch of people wearing white cloaks gather there every night. They're heretics who worship the goddess Etro. You know what I saw? Heretics carrying an unconscious girl. It scared me to death. Maybe it was just the dummy that they threw off the tower. Or maybe it was the murdered girl herself.
The Inquisitor will definitely be very interested in this information. Want to talk to a few more people?
Alright, so we just now need to find Holmes. Speaking of Holmes, here he is now.
They need to make progress with the investigation before they unlock certain areas.
You work at the station, don't you? Your fellow attendants worried about you.
Oh no, is it time for my shift already? I completely lost track of time. Look, can I trust you? I saw who did it. You know, the people who threw the dummy off the clock tower? I got scared, so I've been laying low. I can't go to the station. That's where they'll look for me.
You were there? What did you see exactly? You have to tell me.
I don't have to do anything. But if you can protect me from those people and get me to the station, I'll tell you all about it. Get me to the station, and then I'll talk.
Okay, so now we have to escort him, and we have to gently walk so that we don't...
Gather information and report to the Inquisitor in charge.
That we don't get too far ahead of them, although you can run. And then just wait. I mean, he is walking slow. He's not going that slowly.
Holmes, you're safe. I was so worried about you, I could barely concentrate on my duties.
Sorry, boss. I saw what happened over where they found the girl. I guess I just panicked. I don't know why I got so scared. I'm sorry I let you down. It won't happen again.
Never mind. I'm just glad to see you're safe. Guess I never told you. Well, years ago, one of my colleagues was killed by a monster. I was afraid the same thing had happened to you. I panicked and asked this lady for help.
I can't believe no one told me that when I took this job. But anyway, sorry for the trouble, boss. From now on, I swear to you, I'm never going to be late. I mean, what if your heart gave out or something with worry? Can't have that on my conscience.
A true friend that cares. Maybe that's enough to save a soul.
So the quest has been completed, and we get a Savior's Reward. And we grow stronger, which, that is the key with these side quests, including ones you have to complete during the game, because there are some that you can miss throughout the game if you're not careful enough. But that is going to be the key to grow stronger, is completing all of the side quests that you can find. So, yeah.
Well, a deal's a deal. You got me here safe and sound, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw. It was the children of Etro. They tossed the dummy off the tower. I really wanted to tell the Inquisitors what I saw. Honestly, I did. But I was afraid those heretics might find out and make me their next victim.
Well, if it was the children of Etro, then they are very bad childrens.
That was a valuable witness statement. I'm pretty sure the Inquisitor can use the information.
Okay, so that should be everyone. Now we just have to talk back to the Inquisitor.
The lives of those heretics. The other gates are closed too.
In recent days, the Etro fanatics, those unspeakable heretics who reject the Order, have been gathering brazenly on street corners. They're a sinister bunch, clad in stark white cloaks. I just overheard one of them say something very interesting. It went something like, if we kill the Savior, the prophecy will come true. Now, All the victims to date have been women. Could there be a connection? Are they trying to hunt the Savior? I wonder if I should tell the Inquisitor this information. It might be important.
So the culprits are the children of Etro? But what's their objective? What could they be after?
Let's find out. Once the gates are opened, I'll try tailing them. Discreetly. It'll be...
Hey, lady! So these heretics, they believe in the goddess, right? Are they all bad people, or just some of them? Those heretics are always hanging around here, you know. They're easy to spot. They wear white clothes and huddle together muttering stuff about oracles. You know, they always stare at any women that go by. Do you think they're picking out their next sacrifice? Pretty scary, huh? I'm scared.
You know what I think too? I think that anytime that Hope speaks, they need to freeze the clock while Hope speaks. Because I feel like I can't listen to Hope while the clock is going. You have to talk to the next person or something. Okay, so now that's everyone, and let's talk to the Inquisitor.
If you know anything about the case, I'd be glad to hear it.
The goddess's disciples are beginning to gather. If you lift the blockades around this area, there's a good chance they'll start to move out.
You're suggesting I let them go? It's not a bad idea. Yes, I'll give the order and we'll see where the heretics lead us. We've managed to find some eyewitnesses, and we think we know who it was that strung the dummy from the tower.
Let me guess. The children of Etro, right?
Ah, you have your own sources, I see. In recent weeks, the heretics have become more visible on the streets of our holy city. The poor, benighted fools don't believe in God's salvation. Clearly, their despair has led them to carry out these wanton acts. If only they would open their eyes, embrace God, and they could bathe in the pure light of His almighty grace. Can't they see that their souls would be liberated in the new world? The irony of it all is that their fanatical rejection of the Savior has only made my own faith that much stronger. Although perhaps that is the work of the Savior herself.
If you think your faith will save you, then go ahead. Believe all you want.
Really? Walk in front of me and then go back while we're talking? Look at his hand like, yeah, look at me! Seriously, he was going in between our conversation and then moving backward. Like, okay, now look at me, I'm gonna go backward. Alright, so more rewards. So now that the lockdown is over, the shops in the North Station area have opened their doors. We can buy recovery items from general stores as well as garment adornments from outfitters, so we can take a look around for new items. And we get the EP ability, Chronostasis, which, as you see, is used to control time and space, which only the Savior can use, that freezes the world's time for 1 EP. Although the thing that I hate about it is that the only way you can do that is by defeating enemies, build up your EP gauge, and eventually you can, of course, freeze time with the one that you have or more, whatever you have. And then as you make some of the monsters extinct, because some of the monsters in this game will go extinct after you defeated them enough, and some of those that you defeat that give you high amounts of EP, once they go extinct, then they can't give you anymore. So then you're forced to find other monsters that may not hardly give you as much when you defeat them, so that is a bit of a pain. So, yeah. So as you see, is that the time itself stops when it's active, but the world does not. So, and it's good for about 1.5 minutes of real-world time. So once you activate the Chronostasis, it works for about 1.5 minutes of real-world time. And each second of the game is practically like, what? A half a second of real-world time?
Lightning. The Savior can use God's own holy power. With it, you can even manipulate the flow of time.
How can anyone control time?
With a special ability called Chronostasis, it has limits, but you can slow time. It's just one of the miracles brought about by God's great might. But be warned, you cannot use it again and again. Only use it when it will count the most.
Okay, so do you see how much time I had to waste listening to that conversation? And now, of course, I'm just showing that for you guys, but still, do you see how much time I had to waste listening to that conversation? And of course, it doesn't help if I'm just standing there. I should be walking around. But, well, I'm not walking around because that is the end of this episode. And since we are playing Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII, that has a clock that continues to go. Each time I end off the episode, I will have to pause the game. And then when I continue the game, I will keep it paused until we are ready, then unpause it. So we do not lose a second. Because, as I said, each second in this game is critical. Because you have lots of side quests, you have different things you have to do, and if you miss it for good in that game. There are some side quests that once you miss it, you cannot go back and do it, so you will lose getting enhanced stats, you will miss out on some things, but it won't keep you from completing the game, but it can make things more difficult, so be aware of that. Alright, you guys, well, that is it for this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to click that like button. It really, really helps a ton. And so, yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, add and follow me on all the social media to stay updated and more on my Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You can find the links below in the description. You can add me on the Wii U, on PSN. Also, all of that is in the description, so yeah. Alright, you guys, well, until next time, I'm ZephyrSonic. Thank you all so much for watching again, as always, and have yourselves a great day, and I will see you guys in the next episode.